Alright, what's going on, guys? Today we'll be learning about try and accept block. For those of you who haven't watched my previous tutorials, I suggest you do so, and if you haven't subscribed, I do recommend you also do so. So back to the video. The first thing we want to know is what is an error handling. This allows us to actually handle errors with exception using the try blocks. Whenever our code is being run in Python and uh, encounters something, maybe an error, Python automatically stops execution and raise something called an exception. An exception in Python is maybe a description of what went wrong in your code and also a traceback of where exactly the problem occurred. So something like this, we have a try block, we have our accept, we have the else, and we have the final block. So Python, maybe we have a code in our try block. Python will automatically try the code in our try block, and if it actually works, Python wouldn't have any use for the code in the exception block. It will just automatically go down to the else block and then finally. But if the code here actually encounters something, maybe an error, it will just automatically go down to the accept block, and then the accept block will just go to the else block and then finally. So Python has many built-in exceptions whereby each one is described differently. Each one is described different. Each one has maybe different types of problems. Let's take a look at some of these exceptions. So now we can actually, so that we can actually know how to handle them properly. Let me start with the syntax error. This type of error occurs when you do not follow the rules of writing Python codes. Let's write a code and let's say something. For instance, let me just say for I in range, and I'm just going to specify a number of 2, and then I will just come down and print something. I deliberately made a mistake this. I'm just going to print out okay 2, and if I run this, it's going to give me a syntax error specifying an invalid syntax and giving me also the line of which I actually encountered the problem, which is line 3. So the problem here is we did not add a column. So if we were to add a column now and run this, you can actually see that I did printed out 2 and 2. So another type of error is called type error, and let's actually write something. Let's just say 1 plus, and me, I'm just gonna throw in a string, and I'm just gonna say okay plus 3, and if I run this, it just printed a type error. That's automatically. Normally you cannot add a string with an integer, so that's where the type error occurs. So you can just throw in a string there and run this. It won't run because I didn't call the print function. So also, let's look at the value error. uh, this value error occurs when by whereby the type is correct, like okay, an integer plus an integer plus an integer, so basically it's correct, but it can't be it cannot be handled. For example, let me just call something. Let me import something, maybe the math module. So I'm just gonna come down here, I'm just gonna print something. I'm just gonna print math. I'm just gonna dot square the square root of 2. So if I run this, I'm just gonna get a result, right? But if I come here and just place something called maybe -1 and run, you see that I did printed a value error. There's everything is correct, but it cannot handle a negative number. So that is a value error. And again, let's look at the another error. Let's just pass in okay, maybe I have a list. I've already written this down. I have a list of we treated this. I have a list, and I just maybe okay. Let me just try and print out this lists. And if I print this out, so okay, let me just print out a key in that list, for example, brand. And if I run this, it gives me Toyota. But what if I try to print something that isn't in the list? So it's just gonna go throw me a key error specifying that our wheel isn't a valid key. So now the general ways to handle exception in Python is by using the try, except, else, and finally construction. Note that you can have more than one except block. So this will work by Python trying to execute the code in the try block, like I said, and if it encounters any problems, it just jumps to the except block. But if no problem is found, then it will just skip and all except blocks and just go to the else block and then the finally block. Note that the finally blocks runs regardless of what happens, of maybe you encounter an error or not. So let's just get right into this and let's just try something. Let's just say I have something called x. This is just gonna equal to, let me just say 3 plus 3, and I'm just gonna come down here. I'm just gonna say try, and once I say try, I'm just gonna say try let's just gonna print y. So after this, I'm just gonna come down here. I'm just gonna print x. Let me use x first for this example. After this, I'm just gonna use the except. I'm just gonna print y. So after this, I'm just gonna come down here and use the else block. I'm just gonna say something prints okay, and then finally I'm just gonna say something. Let me just add something there. So if we were to run this, you see that it's the try block first of all run, and it tried to print x and it gives us 6, and then the else block, okay, we just put this in. You can put anything there, and the final block. But what if this was y and this was x, and we run this? You can actually see that it didn't print the it didn't use this statement, because this one it could not run. This one was wrong, so it then went to the except block, and then it confirms that x is equal to 3 plus 3. Then it runs the finally block, and then so that's basically all for this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope I'm going to see you next time. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and also subscribe to this channel. There'll be more videos coming up soon. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.